You are anxious as you are led out onto the track. Your nerves are jittery as adrenaline courses through your veins in anticipation. Nostrils flare as you enter the starting gate. It slams shut behind you. Time slows. The crowd becomes a distant thought as you wait for the bell. Suddenly, it sounds. You burst forth from the gate. Hooves pound like thunder around you. Horses push and shove on either side of you, all struggling to take the lead. Can you imagine such power exploding from the gate? We have heard of great horses. Citation, Secretariat, Seattle Slew, Affirmed, and how they became famous for their Triple Crown wins. Yet was it all the horse? I'm here today to set your sights on a different draft, not to tell you about a famous horse, but to focus on one man, whose journey is one of remarkable strength, determination, and courage. On this victorious journey, I will tell you about humble beginnings, an illustrious career, dangerous profession, remarkable character, avid spokesmanship, and leave you with an ongoing challenge. Hello, my name is Nathan Turrell, and I represent New York State. When you think of a jockey, don't you think of a little short man in white pants? Well, you're partly right. Ron Turcotte was indeed a jockey, but he didn't start out that way. You will see his story as an inspiration. Born in 1941 to a French-Canadian logging family of 12 in New Brunswick, with no running water, an outhouse, a wood stove for heat, and at night sleeping 2 or 3 to a bed, is just the beginning of his story. Ron grew up with a love of horses and joined his father in the family logging business. His main job was caring for the horses used in logging. Here he learned valuable lessons about patience in dealing with horses and how to boost their confidence. This was the beginning of his gifted ability with horses. After 5 years, Ron decided that logging wasn't for him. He wanted a better paying job, more suited to his 5'1", 130-pound frame. After having a difficult time finding work in Toronto, his landlord suggested becoming a jockey. Ron didn't even know what a jockey was. He soon found himself working for Winfield Farms as a hot walker. In 1961, he had his first chance at being a jockey. It was a tough year, winning no races. The next year, his hard work paid off. He won his first race, the beginning of an extremely successful racing career. That year, he went on to win the title of leading apprentice jockey. Within 3 short years, he became the leading jockey in Canada. With nothing left to prove, it was suggested he move to racing in the United States. In 1965, he won the Preakness Stakes on Tom Wolfe, earning him the eye of both the international community and trainer Lucien Loring. Ron became Lucien's first call rider. In 1971, Lucien put him on 2-year-old Riva Ridge. It was because of Ron's uncanny sense that he was able to help Riva Ridge overcome his timidness. The following year, he rode Riva Ridge to victory in the Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes. It is unusual for jockeys to win more than one classic race for the same trainer, but Ron was an exception. In 1972, Ron again rode for Lucien on 2-year-old Secretariat. 1973 would be Ron's most notable success, riding Secretariat to an unbelievable victory, winning all 3 Triple Crown races. His astonishing win by 31 lengths at the Belmont Stakes is still one of the most famous to this day. Secretariat is not the only famous horse Ron rode during his impressive career. He rode in 20,310 races, on 20,281 different mounts, with a phenomenal 3,032 wins. His victorious journey seems simple to those outside of the racing world, but true victory didn't stop with his wins. Behind the excitement the racing world presents lies a dangerous, high-stress environment. Going into this profession, jockeys must be willing to accept the risks involved. Ron knew these risks, yet remained passionate about riding. He absolutely loved his job. Do you know just how difficult it is for jockeys to stay on top of their game in the racing community? There are many different factors that riders must take into account. One such consideration is weight. Maintaining fitness and specific body weights can be intense. Each racetrack sets weight requirements for each race depending on the horse's age, sex, skill level, and race distance. This weight scale has remained largely unchanged since 1858. The weight horses carry ranges from 116 to 126 pounds. That figure includes the jockey plus about 7 pounds of gear. Every rider will say, for those who can't make weight, someone will come to take his or her place. It's a fragile perch. As a result of the strict weight limits, eating disorders are a constant problem. Most jockeys keep a code of silence about their hardships. Omitting these struggles could cost them their career. Many eat only 1 or 2 low-calorie meals per day. Some don't even drink before weigh-in. In 1995, a study by the Chicago Rehabilitation Institute showed 69% of riders skipped meals, 34% used diuretics, 67% sweated off pounds in the sauna, 30% flipped, a term for self-induced vomiting, and 14% took laxatives. Ron struggled with weight issues. As a result, his wife put him on an 800 calorie per day diet. Another factor is emotional strength. It's very cutthroat, one jockey said. You have to have a strong spine in this business. You have to love the sport and excitement, understand the risks, and still be determined to ride. It has been said, jockeys need a big ego, yet cannot be arrogant. This mindset allows jockeys to make important, split-second decisions and not second-guess themselves. Ron showed emotional strength when he said he hated to lose, yet wouldn't let that eat him up. It was said he did his job with class, accepting victories and defeats with grace. Throughout history, there's been a lot of corruption in the racing world, from drugging horses to taking bribes, cause unsafe conditions for both horse and rider. This brings me back to Ron. Not only was he known as being an incredible rider, but more importantly, for his steadfast beliefs in being an incorruptible man. He was named untouchable, someone that could not be paid to throw a race. This truth was later reinforced when a former mafia member stated, Turcotte was incorruptible in an easily corruptible game. In 1978, when Ron was just 37 years old and still at the top of his racing career, his most important victory was yet to be won. This victory would be the fight for his life, a fight to survive. During a race at Belmont Park, his horse flipped heels with another. Ron was catapulted through the air, smashing his spine with paralyzing results. He always said he was never afraid of dying. He just never wanted to be paralyzed. This fear was now reality. He never gave up hope he would walk again, but it was not to be. His daughter never remembers her father saying, "Why me?" Instead he said, "Why not me? I'm no one special." The truth is, Ron is special. Despite the fact he remains in a wheelchair, he's become an avid spokesman for the Permanently Disabled Jockey Fund. In an effort to raise money and awareness for this fund, he visits racetracks, talks to sports groups, and encourages jockeys. Ron has become an inspiration, not only to jockeys, but also to the disabled. Since 1962, Ron has received numerous awards and recognition for his stellar racing career and his efforts for the permanently disabled. When asked how he felt about this recognition, he said, "I do not think of myself as a hero. I'm just an ordinary man who is lucky enough to accomplish something." While Ron Turcotte's story is one of remarkable strength, determination, and courage, I want to leave you with an ongoing challenge. Next time you read a story like Ron's, take a moment to look beyond the obvious. Take time to notice the truly important victories that came from life like his. Someone with humble beginnings that had an illustrious career in a dangerous profession, yet maintained remarkable character to become a wonderful spokesman. It is my hope that we all take stories like this and be able to have this much passion and determination to find our own victorious journey. My references are Will to Win by Bill Heller, Secretariat's Jockey Ron Turcotte documentary by Phil Commune, RacingLegend.com, DerbyLegend.com, Secretariat.com, and other resources from the internet. Are there any questions?